Me again. Well, it is still June 17th, 2022. I have, since the last installment, I've gotten something to eat. I've slept for good 4 hours or so before I just naturally woke up. Um, I forget what they call that, biphasic sleep, something I've just gotten used to. It was not part of the plan, but just I fell into it by the way of accidental schedules. Um, what made sense at the time, and I just have worked within the parameters of and found some semblance of sense. So, anyway, but I guess before I slept, I wrote something. Um, I guess it was after I recorded the last thing, I decided to write my thoughts as well. Um, and I totally remember writing it. I was there for the whole thing, and it is familiar. And I guess I just needed to write some stuff down before I laid down to go to sleep. So, anyway, I decided to play with the lighting, with the sun setting outside. Um, I don't know how many degrees above the horizon that is, but it's getting low, and a train is going by in the distance. So I thought, well, I'll just read because I don't really have much else to say. And I was trying to think of something to say. And I was like, well, I want to read or record through the sunset, just to witness the changing of the light as we approach the summer solstice and the new dawn of winter on its way. Um, it's always approaching summer or approaching winter, one or the other. Okay. Ah. So hopefully my phone doesn't die for some reason. It's been acting funny. So, this was 8 hours ago, and I did think of another word besides confrontation. Let it not become a conflagration. Easily turn into that if I am not careful. But 8 hours ago, I'd have still called it a confrontation. Again. I had thought, was hoping, that the issue was closed. I was told that it was no big deal, and that if it was a problem for me, that they would stop, or at least not do it while I was around. Oh, how nice of them, how kind, how considerate, how respectful, so much sensitivity and outright concern for my feelings. I didn't really buy it then. I was actually surprised the activity seemed to be curtailed, reined in, that after a few days I could faintly begin to think that I could detect activity again. Or maybe it was my heightened awareness and the detection threshold. Nope, it was real, it is real. To me, I am generally reminded of some fruity variety of cupcake smell, usually either strawberry or blueberry. Very chemical, artificial though. At least for the one of them. Waiting until I have left for the day is too much. His addiction is too great that he cannot help himself. Poor little fellow. I must champion to save him from his addiction. Huzzah! To the rescue. I gave fair warning. I called them out. No more hiding, no more shadows, no more pretending. Let us talk about it. I am being vocal, talking to people about it, asking opinions, getting louder, trying to get attention. The last thing addiction likes is attention. Let's get more attention, more people involved, more talking. Let's see how that goes. My trying to approach the matter on a more reasonable personal level, keeping it more private, has failed. I did try to provide a safe passage, give a chance to resolve the issue themselves. It didn't happen. Too bad. So sad. Now it escalates to the next level. I guess their addiction has vape clouded their judgment, or they just don't care. Or they didn't think I would seize onto this with such tenacity, zeal, and fervor. Who knows? I am not them. Apparently it isn't a big deal, and for some reason I am having a problem with it. Crazy. All they had to do was to refrain from vaping indoors at work while on the clock in a location particularly distasteful. The public would most likely frown on their consumables being routinely and consistently exposed and saturated by vaping exhaust being spewed out as exhalation by a few individuals who cannot be bothered to take their addiction outside, away from the entryways while on a break. These individuals have given themselves permission to be paid vapors, indoors and around the food. They get paid to vape, all the while desperately avoiding work, letting other people figure out how to get everything done. The work still needs doing. The work isn't disappearing while they are hiding from it. They don't even begin some tasks because it would interfere with their ability to escape to vape every 10 to 15 minutes. So sorry that work is interrupting your social time. I feel terrible about their addiction. They need help. I was mentioning only half joking that we should think about having an intervention for them about it at the morning huddle to get them the help they need. No shame, no guilt, no embarrassment. It is a real thing, and if they cannot help themselves by admitting they have a problem and then working at doing something about it, well, then we shall see what happens. I'm not saying exactly who I'm talking about yet, and I'm not saying exactly where they are committing this offense yet. I totally don't mind being the bad guy on this. And I am talking about my experience with my active alcoholic drinking career at my previous job in Wisconsin, too, using that as a reference. I got away with that only because I was let to get away with it. People preferred to not deal with me, to pick up my slack, watch me disintegrate and slowly perish, than to confront me directly about my drinking at work and offer me assistance, insist on assistance, demand on assistance, ultimatum on assistance. Fix this. Fix this. Fix it now. Not later. Now. And if you cannot fix it, it will be fixed for you. And you might not like it as much if others begin working on your problems for you. And your choices become diminished, become funneled, channeled into an either do it or get gone. I personally don't care. I am resolute on this. I know my history. I know what I went through because people kept quiet. No one wants to have to confront people at work for addictive behaviors. Same sort of thing for dealing with bigotry, harassment, bullying, racism, personal hygiene. One just hopes it goes away, fixes itself, the person leaves, or one just learns to keep a safe distance. No one wants to take personal responsibility and to spot the problem, even though it may be obvious already. No one wants to say anything because that makes it real, and it means that it needs to be dealt with. And things can get messy, get awkward, get weird, get decidedly uncomfortable. And you know what? That's good. That's healthy. I am making sure that this whole situation is getting really weird. It should have been, could have been simpler, but no. And now it gets a little bit more complicated. Wahahaha. I have spoken to other people confirming that they know about it, and it is not very secret. The secret is only a secret as it is based on some unspoken social convention that no one is supposed to talk about it. Wait, what? When? Where is this written? How do we know this? Is this a collective bystander syndrome or a universal localized sentiment of we don't like it, but we like the idea less of confrontation, so we will then therefore begrudgingly bemoan and endure the issue than to face it directly? I have initiated the conversation. I have spoken to them individually, letting them know my position. I know they know too. We all know, and we all agree it is not good. I hope that other people begin to do more than just look the other way. That I won't continue to get the impression from the vapors that I am the only one bothered. They don't even know. People are watching. People are paying attention. How often they retire behind closed doors to check on something in back, again, and again, and again, and again. If they have a problem with me having a problem with them, I suggest emphatically that they take it up with management. Explain to them the issue. What story would they tell? Would they fabricate some nonsense to make me look foolish? Or just lie about this or that to try to discredit me? Is their addiction to vaping that important to them? Wow, they have some serious issues. Far worse than vaping. if that is indeed the case. They have my pity, and that is a curse far worse than any other than I can imagine. I cannot help them. I already did. I already am. It might not appear so, but I am. Or at least, I think I am, in the way that I think I would have needed someone to have tried to help me back in Wisconsin. I know vaping on the job isn't the same thing as drinking alcohol on the job, but the principles are the same to me, on some core fundamental level. The person who I used to be died the morning of July 4th, 2016, around 8 or 9 a.m. I call my sobriety date August 5th, though, because of socially adopted tenets, of which I am somewhat unraveling. I am becoming unbound and finding my own spine to bind this story together, a life story, a living story. I have recorded my piece on this already and have now written a bit. I need to get something to eat and then shut down a while. I am beyond the mental shutdown point and running on impulse fumes. The body is ready to collapse. The good news is, among other things, is that I will sleep, and sleep deeply, profoundly, a sleep of ages. Yeah. So yeah, I just wrote that. It's like I don't read these things. I just and it's like I'll read it later and it's like, okay, yeah, I didn't plan on that. And it's like I don't know where it all comes from. So anyway, oh wow, it's really bright out there. I shouldn't look at the sun. Yeah, it's right above the horizon now, just a little bit. So it's like I'm going to try to keep this going until it's just set. So it won't be as, it'll still be pretty well lit, but I won't have this direct sun on me. It should be interesting. And I wanted to see if. No, I guess that might have been just at that particular time of the year. It was reflecting off that mirror and catching this side of my face. It was interesting the way the lighting looked. Maybe it'll happen again on the opposite side of the solstice from now, here in about a month, I suppose. But yeah, it was cool. Which was also. Oh, oh. No. Anyway. No. Another time. Whoa. We're having lighting problems. So. Anyway. I don't know what everybody else is doing with their YouTube channels, but this is what I'm doing with mine. And I don't get views, and I don't get subscribers, and I'm not looking for any. I don't advertise. I don't promote. I don't want comments. I don't really want attention. This is just there for my own observation and to let myself have a forum, a private forum, to let me know what I was doing, how I was thinking, and maybe I'll learn something along the way. And also it corroborates and sustains and complements the writing. So it's like, that's why a lot of these videos do not have introductions or summaries, is because it's in the writing, which is elsewhere. They are mutually exclusive. They exist on their own, separate from each other, but they corroborate and integrate with each other, complementing, telling different versions based on the dynamics of how I'm interacting with the media. In this case, it's audio and visual, so I'm reacting to myself. and the sound of my own voice, whereas the writing, that's just me integrating with my mind and the words on the screen as they appear and how my internal dialogue goes. So it's like, so it gets different material based on my experience, but drawing from the same reservoir. Um, and yeah, so it's kind of cool. Ow. Gotta stop looking at the sun. So, and I guess the other thing that I reacted to today, in a good way, I hope. I hope it came across okay. In the way that I meant it, because, you know, I never understand what anybody else really means by how they say what they, you know, I know what I think they mean, but I don't know what they think they mean. And so it's like, I know, you know, it's like, and my accuracy of my observations is, and my perceptions are always extremely skewed and flawed and just plain wrong, because I am not anybody else. I am only myself and have my own history and experience and thoughts and senses. And it's like my own way of perceiving and conceptualizing, actualizing the world around me. And so it's like I have no idea how it is for anybody else, how they internalize or externalize their experience. So it's like I wouldn't presume or assume to know different or to know better or to know right from wrong for anybody else. Because what's right for me might be wrong for them, what's wrong for them might be right for me, that sort of thing. And it's confusing. But I can give my perspective, and they can make of it what they will. And, you know, they put it out there to be shared, and if they don't like what I have to say, I guess I can be blocked or ignored or told to stop, but I haven't been. I think I get dealt with delicately, diplomatically, I think. I don't know if there's anything more than that. It's just a careful dealing with an unstable, perhaps dangerous mind, being respectful and courteous, and mindful of that. Yeah, so it's like almost like you keep your, and it's like, you know, keep your enemies close, sort of thing. I guess that's how it feels like to me. That I'm liked to stay around because I am an interesting perspective, or at least it seems like it. But keep my distance, and I'm, you know, or something. I'm not sure. It feels like I have some special reserve where it's like, which I don't understand. It's like if I'm supposed to understand certain things, I don't. It's like I want to be given credit for understanding, like, certain things. It's like, give me credit. I understand more than what you might think I know. I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. But then at the same time, it's like people give me too much credit for understanding things that I don't understand, but no one knows. No one knows. I don't understand what I don't understand, and other people don't understand what I do understand or don't understand. They can only ever begin to get a sense of it by interacting with me and seeing how it is I am processing information or not processing it, or how I'm emotionally engaged or not paying attention. Or paying attention to the wrong things, or learning. I'm always learning, but am I learning the intended lesson, or am I learning it the prescribed way, or am I just pretending at it, or figuring it out for myself? And it's like the end result months from now, I might come up with something completely different than the intended teachable. So it's like, maybe I was supposed to have figured out something by now that I never did, or I figured it out a backwards way, or an you know, because I'm always just, there's stuff, and it's like circuitous that is a nice word to put on it, circuitous, you know, I am not, I think about amaze. It's like, I am not amazed, I am the maze, the way I think. It's like, it's not amazing, it's a maze. So it's like, I am always in a maze, basically, and I'm finding my way. And sometimes I go back in, because I'm not done exploring whatever topic it is that I'm investigating or thinking about. Because I never get done with things. Usually they just get settled or reoriented, or my energies get commandeered or displaced or requisitioned or appropriated in other directions. So, commandeered. So, yeah, well, the sun's gone down. So, I guess that means the moon is coming up over there. It is now a waning moon, waning full moon, I guess. It's a couple days past full of whatever moon that was. I didn't even remember to look up the name of it. I guess it was the June full moon, whatever that one was. Because they all have names, apparently, which I didn't know of until like a couple of years ago. It's like, you hear about the blue moon or the full moon, and now it seems like every moon now is a super moon for some reason. And they all have names, the different, full moons, named after crops and cycles and critters. So, it's interesting. It gives more folklore, more mythos. And I did remember that phrase I was looking up the other day, or trying to remember about draw or dri. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it. Draw your word. Dri, you're weird. I don't know how to say it. But it's about fatal weirdness. It's a Shakespearean thing, or he used it because it predates that. Kind of Shakespeare's a more modern shyster of some sort. So probably a little bit embellished and exaggerated, and what's the word? Oh, when something is made up to be something much greater than it is. Exaggerated, embellished. That's not the word. Overstated. No, he produced good work, I guess. But was he as great as what he's remembered for and how he's held up? I don't know. Anyway, I'm off topic and the sun has set, so that means I'm done. So I did what I meant to do, and now I must go. So, not that I have to go anywhere or do anything, but I'm just choosing to, as I will invariably want to lay down for another nap before I go back to work in the morning and go deal with that situation again in the morning. And it's like, I am making too big of a deal of this, obviously. It's not that. It's like, oh, I don't know why Eric's having a problem with this. Eric needs to chill. Why is Eric so upset? And it's like, if I don't state my case correctly or fast enough, then I'm just wrong. And it's like, I feel like I'm the one that has to defend myself, that I am in the wrong, that I am being mean, that, if I cannot explain it, my feelings, or state my case, then I am just wrong to feel the way I do, to be the way I am. I'm guilty of, something, some crime. And I gotta be sensitive and accommodating to them, because they are the hurt people, and I am being aggressive. Bullshit. So, anyway, I'm gonna go now. So, good night.